Sometimes there's titles that make sense. I didn't have one. What about the sunflowers? Yeah, maybe you'll see those tomorrow.
I've been waiting for this.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've got a full spread of images to show you today. I gotta find a way to put those in and just stall somewhere in the stream. I don't want to do it right now. I want to wait till there's 25,000 people, concurrent viewers here today to do that. So, I mean, I am not going to show the sunflowers until I have 25,000 viewers. No, we'll do it in like a few minutes. I'm just kidding. We're waiting for the sunflowers. Yeah, they're coming. Don't worry. You'll see them soon. It's actually, it's going to be like really cool. I did like a, you'll see. Had a professional editor edit the photos. They were professionally done. I think I'm fucking around.
Cleanliness first.
Hurry, please show the sunflowers. Yeah, I'm going to show the sunflowers in exactly 5 minutes. 10 seconds till sunflowers. Ooh. So a few months ago, the idea crossed the mind to plant some sunflowers. I actually learned a lot about gardening and planting. It's something I've never really done before. You don't just put things in a pot and just water them. There's a lot of things that go into the first like 2 or 3 weeks of growing flowers that I just had no idea, especially sunflowers. So the following images you will see on your screen are that process. And this is not just one picture. This is multiple images over the course of the entire life. So the first one you're going to see, which is pretty cool. This is the pot. And this is like right, maybe like, I don't know, a week after planting. Now you're probably noticing there's a lot of little guys here. He's growing his own weed. No. When you grow sunflowers, or any kind of big plant like this, they sort of fight to get to choose who gets to be the one that lives. Because after you germinate them, and you put them in the ground, you have to thin them. And you get to watch which ones are the strong ones. And they're the ones that kind of get to stick around, which is sad because you'll end up with scenarios like this, where this one's coming up. It's like, oh, he's so strong, he's so big, and look at him, he looks perfect. But the one next to him can't be there. So even though the one next to him is growing and looking good, he's gonna have to go. It's sad. Because you have to, with sunflowers, I believe it's at least 6 to 8 inches apart to have them have their roots be okay. So, yeah, it was a sad process of watching them all kind of do this. And as you see, here they come. And you see the ones on the right? That's the seed. That's the sunflower seed still on it. It stays on, and then eventually it falls off, and they spread out. And that's how they look like that. So after a couple more weeks, this is probably like maybe 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks. The ones that get the tallest, forced Darwinism. It's called thinning. It's not full. These look like in-game screenshots. Well, they've been edited to look a little nicer. He's thinning. No, you have to understand. If they can't survive like this. And you don't know which is going to be a strong seed because you don't know, because when you put it, okay, so some of them don't come up at all. So when you plant 10 to 20 of them, 5 of them might not even come up. So if you just plant 1 or 2 and they never show up, you don't have a harvest. You don't have a plant. So you have to do it like this. Otherwise you don't know. This is just another image of it. At this point here, it's like, all right, so who's going to be the ones that are going to grow big and strong? You can see some of them that look like they're a little bit hardier than others. And this is after some of them have already been removed at this point. If you can, we'll zoom in here. Some of these have actually been removed already. Down here, there was 1 or 2 that were removed because they just weren't really coming up at all. They were stuck. They were kind of wilty. Would we survive in your society? This is basic gardening 101. I am not like, what are you talking about? This is basic gardening. So eventually, after they've been thinned a few times, and some of them were stronger, some of them were strong enough actually. So as you see in the right pot, there are 4. So 4 were able to kind of stick around. And also, notice the 2 over here. These were taken out of the pot on the right because they looked healthy enough. And I don't know, just felt bad. I didn't want to just, if they were strong, then I wanted them to survive. So they got their own pot. Yeah, actually, like 3 or 4 of these, besides the one on screen, were repotted. If I have to give you a real number of the seedlings, maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5 total didn't make it. The other ones were repotted and were given as gifts. So I was like, hey, here's like a kind of young sunflower. Do you want it? You can have it. And it's like watching your child go off to college in a weird way. It's like, okay, here you go. I've taken care of them for so long, but make sure you give them plenty of water and plenty of sunshine. Make sure you aim them at the sun, and make sure they eat every day. It's like watching your kid go to school or like off to college or something. Eventually, as you see the ones in the pot on the right, they're about 6 to 8 inches apart. So they're good. Very healthy, growing, strong. This is where it gets interesting. See what that is? I'll zoom in on you. A little praying mantis baby decided to sit up here and stay here. And there's an interesting story about this praying mantis. They never left. And you'll see maybe a few images later. Maybe you'll see this little friend again. And the best part about the praying mantis was this guy controlled a lot. We're talking about like if they like there's aphid problems, right? It's really, really easy when you have this just guard dog that's here constantly. But that was kind of an issue too. He's trying to figure out like, I don't want to use pesticides. So how do you naturally take care of the leaves? I don't want aphids. I don't want like the spider mites. So having to come up with a solution of, oh, you can like make your own like organic insecticide spray. It's like light soap and peppermint. And it works pretty well. And yes, this praying mantis will be in the next Jerma Rumble. So that's a guarantee. This is where they started to actually form leaves. As you see, they look weird too. It's an insane process. Look at that. Doesn't it look like it's just going to open up and just spit acid in my face? And they were very healthy too. They were very healthy. They were very strong. But the problem was, it's really windy in Vegas. And these things grow these long stalks. Do you know how many times there was like 15 plus mile per hour winds here? And the panic that ensued of trying to make sure they weren't going to get blown over? There were storms. There were big winds. It was just like, shit. Okay, just shimmy it behind like a wall. When it got to this point, this is like, I never thought I was ever going to be able to see this. I thought I was going to screw something up. There were so many opportunities to like break them or damage them or weather problems. I was like, holy shit, they're actually going to open eventually. Another probably, and this is probably about 2 months at this point, maybe 2.5 months. Eventually they opened. And this is what he looks like after opening. So there you go. There's your sunflower picture. Big, beautiful, and ready for the bees. Is it taller than you? Yes, it was. Especially the one on the back got to be about, I want to say 8 feet tall, 7 feet tall. I didn't stand next to it for scale because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give you guys that image. So the one behind did not open immediately with the others. Took about another 2 or 3 weeks. He has his father's eyes. But see, these the green stakes were to prevent the wind. It was really trying to stop the wind from just crushing them. The one in the back, actually, at one point was a big windstorm, and it bowed to a point where I, like, gasped audibly and was like, like I just watched, like, an animal that I had, or like a fucking kid, like, running out of the house, like, straight out of the house, like, into the front yard and stuff, and into, like, the driveway. Like, no, don't get back here! It was horrible. But he was okay. Well, because remember, this is important to know too, is you got to take care of these every day. This wasn't just a, oh, I just have like a plant back there. Fuck it. Don't even care. They needed constant attention. trimming some of the leaves. You can see some of the like some of the browning, the yellowing. You really don't want that to happen. You want to try to keep them healthy. They need water. They need to be trimmed. They need to be like fertilized. It's an everyday thing was out there. So if one of them had, if they got destroyed, like 2.5 straight months of doing this, it would have been so sad. So this is the other one. This is the secondary one. It was just barely opening. And here's the cool part about it. Sunflowers, if you didn't know, they're not always yellow and orange. Sometimes they can be, drum roll please, red, purple, brown, even like a dark, almost like a dark brown. So this is a rare, you know what I mean? You got the yellows are commons, oranges are kind of uncommon, red is rare, purple is fucking legendary. And there's white too, yeah there is. And the packets that I was using was an assortment. So I did not know, I had no idea what they were going to be. So it really was like opening up flower loot boxes. And when it's fully open, take a look. The bees loved these things. There was constantly bees, honeybees. And going out there and looking at 3 or 4 honeybees, just collecting, picking up pollen and stuff, it was awesome. Because you kind of get to like watch what happens around us in a way. And don't worry, I'm not going to become like, oh, philosophical in humanity. No, but listen. When you get to just sit there and watch that, a bee just coming over and just collecting pollen, it's like this whole world is around us of just constant moving and shaking and like cars and trucks and airplanes and technology. And if you slow down for a second, this is ridiculous that this is still going on. They collect this shit every day. It looks like a stock photo. Yeah, that's how good it is. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the one that was in the pot on the left. Take a look. Look at how big our boy has gotten. He stuck around for the whole 4 months. And then one day he just wasn't there. When we see these things, makes us a little sad, makes us cry. You ate him. I didn't eat him. So when they had to be, when the sunflowers actually had to be, because they were done, they were kind of dead or dying, they had to be taken up. Because here's a really sad thing about sunflowers. If you didn't know, this is really important info. Sunflowers, at least most of them, there are some that that they come back. I believe perennial versus annual. Sunflowers die and don't come back. So it's not like, oh yeah, I plant my sunflowers. They grew ahead this year. Cool, they bloomed. See you next year. Ooh, it's chilly out in December. I'll take care of you. No, they're dead. They don't come back. So watching them die and knowing that that was it, and you were just going to kind of trim them down and pull them. It was like, okay, I mentioned like having your kid go to college. You know, think about what it's like to it's like, no, you're not only you're at college, you got married and you're never coming back to mom ever again. You got married and you have like 4 kids and you're gone. Ugh, it was sad. Are you going to dry them and roast them? They actually were harvested. So I took the heads off, spread them out. It's a really weird process when you do that too. Actually harvesting a sunflower is not what you guys think. If you've never seen, go look at a video. Go watch like a sunflower harvesting video. It's weird. You decapitated them. Yeah, I did. Who's that? What's that? Oh, it. Wait, is that? OTTO? Oh, look at it! It's OTTO! But yeah, this guy stuck around the whole time. And then he went off somewhere else. But it was cool to see the baby turn into the adult. I believe there's what, one more? Yeah, so here's the final picture I'm going to show you. It was a hydra. So the one in the back grew to be this 5-headed hydra. And this is about, I want to say 7 to 8 feet tall. And there were even more heads too. There were 2 or 3 more heads that started that kind of stopped halfway. Because sometimes this doesn't happen. A lot of people will trim the heads to make the big head, the head in the front, in the middle, bigger and stronger. I was like, no, fuck it. Let's just see what it does. It had like 7 or 8 heads, but only 4 or 5 of them opened like this. This is a legendary drop, yeah. So I will tell you that that's the remainder of these. We'll zoom in a little. It was really cool. It was actually cool. It seems like a kind of a boring... I mean, I guess when I turned 35, I never thought I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to take a look at my sunflowers. But it is kind of cool. It was a fun experience. And I'm going to do it again. We'll see what kind of legendary drops I get next time. Or maybe not. It's not boring. Well, yeah, I don't really think it is. But it's so sad now because they were outside. So when I look outside to where they were, it was always sort of a morning ritual to just look out there and be like, ah, they're gone. They're absolutely gone completely. But I got seeds from their heads, and those seeds, I'm going to preserve them, and that's the seeds I'm going to plant next year. So the family will live on. It was cool. So we'll do one more, give you a little perspective here. So here we go. Here's the little babies. There they are. And they grew into this. Plants are so weird. The fact that a tiny little seed can just do this. It's just crazy. So this right here turned into this. Stage 1, final stage right here. Absolutely insane. There you go. There's the sunflowers. The sunflower journey is over. Wasn't that worth waiting for? The stream's not over. The stream's not over. That's imagine. All right, see you later. See you next week. That was an accidental click. You don't have to leave. I got a couple more battles to do, but yeah, it was cool. I always wanted to do sunflowers, and they get really big and healthy out here. Talking about your flowers for 10 minutes added years onto my lifespan. Well, it's cool. Can you eat more than the seeds? I think you can eat the heads.
Yawn.
Shut up. I'm talking about my sunflowers, okay? Sorry, I'm not like killing people with a fucking sword right now. All right, relax. I don't know if I would eat the actual heads. You can grill them. I love sunflower seeds. They're delicious. So we're actually eating sunflower babies? No. I don't think that's accurate.